There are homes that tell you who lived there, and then there are homes that tell you how their owners saw themselves in the world, how they entertained, how they expected history to remember them. This house was built to be seen, built to be admired, built to endure. And more than 130 years later, it's still doing exactly that. This is the David Whitney Mansion, one of Detroit's last grand Gilded Age residences. But to understand this place, you have to understand its owner and the city he helped build. Welcome back to Homes of Michigan. I'm Chris, and today we're stepping inside a house that represents an idea. That home can be more than a shelter. That it can be a statement of wealth, taste, and permanence. This is a house built at the height of Detroit's industrial ascendancy, at the peak of lumber wealth, and at a time when the city's elite wanted their homes to matter in history. This is the David Whitney Mansion, now known simply as the Whitney. David Whitney Jr. was one of Michigan's wealthiest citizens at the turn of the century. Born in Watertown, Massachusetts in 1830, he made his fortune in lumber, eventually building one of the largest lumber empires in the United States. He expanded his company across Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and beyond, and his interest eventually included real estate, steamships, banking, and land speculation. By the time he decided to build his family home in Detroit, Whitney was not just wealthy. He was a pillar of the city's industrial elite. But this wasn't a modest residence. This was a bold proclamation of wealth, of confidence, of permanence. Whitney selected a site on Woodward Avenue, Detroit's most prestigious residential corridor of the late 19th century. At that time, Woodward was home to the city's most influential figures: industrialists, professionals, civic leaders, and it was here that Detroit's elite chose to live. Whitney's mansion overlooked the Detroit Athletic Club grounds, a social hub for the city's businessmen, and signaled that he belonged at the core of Detroit's power structure. This was intentional placement, a home that not only reflected success, but participated in the city's evolving elite geography. Work on the mansion began in 1890 and was completed in 1894 at an estimated cost of $400,000, roughly $9.5 million in today's dollars. The home was designed by Gordon W. Lloyd, an English-born architect known for prominent Detroit commissions such as the Grand Circus Building. The style chosen was Romanesque Revival, a mode popular for churches and institutional buildings, but rare for private residences, because it implied visual strength and permanence. The result was a mansion that looked more like a fortress of wealth than a quiet family home. The mansion stands roughly 21,000 to 22,000 square feet, with 52 rooms, 10 bathrooms, 20 fireplaces, and 218 windows. Clad in rose pink jasper granite, imported from South Dakota, the facade is laid in random ashlar, giving the stone mass a rough, tactile presence. Rounded arches, squat polished granite columns, and a copper-capped tower amplify the Romanesque massing. The roof is slate in a fish-scale pattern, and the walls are dotted with carved leaf motifs, and even David Whitney's initials, structural signatures that express both wealth and craftsmanship. Even before entering, the mansion tells a story. This is meant to last. When guests entered, they stepped into a 24 by 50-foot grand hall paneled in quarter-sawn oak with a mosaic tile floor, an enormous carved fireplace, and a bronze staircase beneath a massive Tiffany stained glass window of a knight, symbolizing the Whitney family's English noble connections. Across the mansion, many of the stained glass windows were crafted by Tiffany & Co., including figures of saints and allegorical scenes. To the north of the grand hall sat the music room, a 36 by 23-foot space with silk-painted ceilings, Tiffany glass windows of St. Cecilia and Apollo, and delicate maple screens carved by hand. Adjacent was Mr. Whitney's smoking room, appointed in somber mahogany with a vaulted ceiling, a space designed for private reflection and quiet conversation. Reception and drawing rooms along Woodward Avenue were executed in a bright neoclassical style, with ivory enamel, gold relief, and white onyx fireplaces, cheerful and light-filled spaces that contrasted with the darker tone of other chambers. The library, framed in rich mahogany, with 7-foot bookcases and decorative columns, stood as a testament to Whitney's appreciation for knowledge and tradition. Rooms like the dining room showcased African marble surrounds and hand-painted walls and ceiling. Hidden behind tapestries from the legendary Goblin Tapestry Works was a secret vault, a space designed to protect valuables in an era before modern home security. This is architecture serving both beauty and utility, a layered expression of wealth, taste, and the realities of lived life. The second floor held the ballroom, measuring 41 by 17 feet, wainscoted in oak with a central fireplace and plaster ceilings richly patterned. Bedrooms for Mr. and Mrs. Whitney, their children, and guests radiated from this central space. Miss Whitney's suite opened onto a corner balcony and featured silver birch woodwork with mahogany and gold highlights. Mr. Whitney's bedroom occupied the northeast corner, with surrounding rooms designed for privacy and comfort. The third floor included the family's art gallery, servants' quarters, and additional guest rooms, with vaulted ceilings and skylights accentuating the display of fine works. In the basement, a paneled billiard room and the mansion's enormous heating system lived alongside a then state-of-the-art electrical infrastructure, reportedly influenced by Thomas Edison himself, a testament to Whitney's forward-looking vision. While Whitney once claimed he'd be happy living in a log cabin, Mrs. Whitney had loftier taste, and the mansion became a center for Detroit's Gilded Age social life. The family entertained frequently. Receptions, teas, evening parties, and musicals, weaving the home into Detroit's cultural fabric, because this was not a retreat from society. It was a stage for its performance. David Whitney died in 1900, after only 6 years in the home, and his widow, Sarah, continued to live here until 1917. From 1920 to 1932, a caretaker lived in the mansion, and in 1932, the Wayne County Medical Society moved in, occupying the space through the Great Depression. In 1957, the Visiting Nurse Association purchased the property and used the mansion as offices, preserving it through decades when many similar homes were demolished or altered. By the late 1970s, the mansion faced the wrecking ball, until entrepreneur Richard Kuhn purchased and restored it, turning the mansion into a restaurant in 1986 and saving one of Detroit's few remaining grand 19th century residences. In 2007, it was sold to former Chrysler executive Bud Leibler, who refined restoration efforts and renamed the third-floor bar the Ghost Bar, a nod to the mansion's layered history. Today, The Whitney continues to operate as an upscale dining destination, wedding venue, and cultural landmark, offering visitors a chance to experience Gilded Age architecture firsthand. The David Whitney Mansion survived what many similar estates did not. It weathered economic upheaval, urban transformation, neglect, as well as planned demolition. Yet today, it stands proud as a testament to craftsmanship, vision, and historical continuity. Detroit's history isn't just in factories and cars. It's in the places that people built when they believed that this city would endure. And this mansion still does. The David Whitney Mansion reminds us that homes can be powerful statements, not just of wealth, but of identity, aspiration, and legacy. If you want more deep dives into Michigan's most unique homes, the ones that explain the why behind the walls, make sure you're subscribed. This is Homes of Michigan, and this is Detroit Still Standing.